Kayla from the KK Lifestyle. I'm here with my birth giver.
Hello.
This is Mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hello, everyone.
I brought my mom in today because we are going to talk about some ways that we as families can keep Jesus the center of our Christmas season. And I feel like that our generation of mothers have such wisdom in the generation ahead of us. So I wanted to bring in my mom just as a more mature perspective.
Old.
And good advice. So go ahead and start, and then we'll get started with some questions.
Okay, well, I think one of the things that I always try to do in anything with the kids from a spiritual sense is do it in everyday activities, just your everyday goings on. It's actually a verse from Deuteronomy. It's in Deuteronomy 6 that tells us how we should teach our kids about God. And it is in the everyday walk, the everyday activities. And I didn't think that Christmas should be any different.
Right.
So as we would do our Christmas activities, I would always try to explain the why we were doing things. So why do you buy presents? Well, that's an opportunity to tell your kids that Jesus is a gift and his grace is a gift. It's not earned, it's freely given. So that's an example, right, of an opportunity of how to explain that. The other thing that we like to do, because we had two girls in our home, was to buy special Christmas outfits.
Oh, yes.
So, you know,
Large bows,
the matching socks, the matching bows, and usually a monogram somewhere in there because we are from the South and we do monograms. So a way to explain that is that just like, say if we were going to a wedding is a special occasion and we would buy a special outfit for that. Christmas is a special occasion and we want to set it apart from everyday life. So when you set an occasion apart from everyday life, then you would wear a special outfit for that. So again, it's just another example of explaining the why we do this. Why do we have Christmas lights? That's another one. You know, we put lights on our tree, we might put lights on the outside of our homes, and the reason we do that is because Jesus is light. One of my favorite examples of Jesus is light, and this is great to do with kids. If you show them a dark room, it could be their bedroom, a dark bedroom. You go in and you turn the light on, then you suddenly see how to get to your closet, how to get to the bathroom. It shows you direction when you turn on the light.
Oh, that's good.
So, you know, there's just several opportunities, especially at Christmas, just as you're doing your everyday Christmas activities to explain the why we do it.
Yeah. So I feel like you did a really good job of allowing us to celebrate Christmas and the worldly aspects of Christmas, but you kept it Jesus centered. Like we didn't miss out on any Christmas fun, but you made it fun because of Jesus. So explain some ways that we did that growing up and some ideas.
Well, I think some years I made mistakes in that for sure. And those were the years that I tried to fit in every possible thing during the month of December. I would encourage all young moms to not do that, because here's what happens when you do that. By the time you get to December 25th, you are burnt out, you are exhausted, and the message that conveys to your children is, I'm not excited about Jesus. Yes, I think it's great to have those activities so that there's a build up to the 25th. But not to overdo.
Gotcha.
So that being said, I had some non-negotiables.
Okay.
of things that we did no matter what. And number one was always going to the Christmas Eve service at church.
Yeah.
To me, that conveys to your children Jesus is first in this and in every day, but especially at Christmas when we're very busy and we might get tired, like I said, by the time Christmas Eve comes along. And I just always said, that is non-negotiable. We go to the Christmas Eve service.
And I think that, I can't speak for Mackenzie, but I know she's mentioned this, like for me and Mackenzie, it's one of our favorite things to this day to do is to go to the Christmas Eve service.
And with our church, there was a candlelight service. So again, you have that opportunity to talk about Jesus being light.
Right.
And, how that candlelight would light up the whole room. And it's just another opportunity to talk to your children about Jesus.
Yeah. What were some other things that were non-negotiables?
If a Christmas card went out, I always tried to make sure that I included scripture on it.
Yeah.
The reason, again, talking about the why, the reason that we send Christmas cards out to those that we love is to let them know that we love them. And what better way to do that than to include an encouraging verse, a verse about Jesus' love, those kind of things. Now, I was close to sending out a Christmas card every year, but I will be honest, there have been a couple of years that I did not. I mean, you're going to have some seasons of life that are just more difficult than others, and you're just trying to get through Christmas. Maybe you've lost someone the year that we lost your grandfather. We were just trying to get through that year. So, there's going to be years that maybe you don't get everything done. But if a Christmas card went out, I always tried to include scripture on it.
And then what about I remember reading the Christmas story.
Yes, that's another thing that, if you're going to celebrate Christmas, you need to read the Christmas story to your children from the Bible. I think that that's extremely important. We did that in different ways. The years that we participated in Advent, we would read the Christmas story through that Advent devotional. And you all have so many resources at your disposal for Advent devotionals, calendars, lighting candles, all of those things. We didn't do Advent every year, but we did it.
I remember doing it. Yeah. One thing that I remember, because I want this to be for parents who have kids of all ages, is when I got older and started dating, it was like Thanksgiving was kind of a free-for-all. Anybody's welcome. It's a party. Everybody comes to our house. But Christmas was family only. And as an adult now, looking back, I'm thankful that it wasn't, oh, look, well, there's the year of that, in the pictures when you look back. And so, I'm talking teenage relationships. I know there's relationships of all seriousness.
We have friends, that their kids dated from even middle school and then got married, and that's fine. I just felt like it just needed to be.
Yeah, I'm sure I fought you at the time on it, but in this season of life, I'm thankful that I can look back on pictures and just remember the family time. So that was one thing that I wanted to bring up. So we also did a lot of things for others in the Christmas season.
Yes.
So kind of give some examples of that for us.
I think it was a couple of years, instead of having a get together with friends where the girls exchanged gifts with their friends, we got together with friends and we went to Target. And I think one year we chose a name of a young girl off of the Salvation Army angel tree.
I remember this specifically.
And we took their friend, it was my best friend and I chaperoned, and we took, I think it was probably 10 girls to Target, and we bought gifts for that girl off of the angel tree.
Such a good idea.
And then we went, and I think you guys all had pizza together. We went to a pizza place, and that was how they celebrated together. But buying gifts for others that are in need was one way
I know that
to do that.
Most of us in this area have so much, and like I was even telling you, like Zoe has so much that she gets between Christmas and her birthday. It's like we don't even have room for it. So to bless someone else, I think is a really good lesson.
Yeah, and again, there's so many resources to find that. If your church has a benevolence committee, they usually will have a list of names of people in your community that need help, and that's one way to show Jesus love that way.
I remember for younger children, like Zoe loves to cook, so I remember baking a birthday cake for Jesus.
Yes, we did that a few years, bake a birthday cake for Jesus, and we would take it to our family gathering on Christmas Eve, and we even put candles on it and blew candles out.
It's just a good,
kids understand birthday cakes,
right?
So that's a good
thing.
Good thing to do.
And we mentioned Advent earlier. I remember something that we did in addition to Advent was every night we prayed for a specific family member, extended family member.
Yeah, we had one year that we did Advent that I sat down with the amount of nights that we had, and it just happened to work out that it was the exact amount of our family and extended family. So we took one family member each night and prayed for them each night of Advent.
Was that really special?
Yeah, that was a really special year.
Personal.
Yeah.
And then we did a lot of baking because Mackenzie loved to bake.
Yes, Mackenzie is our little chef, and yes, we did a lot of baking.
I didn't do probably a lot of baking.
Probably not. No. But we had horses. Mackenzie rode horses for many, many years, and we boarded our horses. And people who work at a horse boarding facility do not get Christmas off. The horses still have to be fed and taken care of. And we just wanted to make sure that we showed our appreciation to those people who were giving up their time with their family Christmas morning. And so we would fix breakfast for them and take it over. And again, I mean, obviously there's probably a small amount of the population who have horses that are being boarded, but there's so many people who work in the healthcare field that don't have Christmas off, or emergency services that don't have Christmas morning off. And it's a way to show, hey, we really appreciate you. We appreciate what you're doing for us. And so you want to show that back. So it was a way that we did it.
Also, like single parents and widows, that would be another.
Well, yes, my mom is a widow, and so that has become, she was a single mom for years too. That's a very personal issue for us. Not just single moms, maybe single dads. Any single parent that maybe their children are with their other parent that year. That leaves a parent at home, maybe by themselves. And just being aware of those situations. When you hear about those situations, make a mental note. And it's a perfect way to take your kids with you and say, we just want to show love to this person. Anytime you show that you care, you have compassion, you're showing the quality of Jesus when you do that. Widows, single parents, anyone that's having a hard time. I remember a specific Christmas. We had a young lady that used to babysit for us, and her brother was involved in a horrible car accident the morning of Christmas Eve. People were killed in the car accident. It was really bad, and he was in the hospital. And I had heard about what happened, and her parents were at the hospital tending to him, and she was home alone. I didn't realize that she was home alone till later in the evening, but we rallied together and packed up some food, and I took it over to her and checked on her. And it's just taking time out of what is our busiest time of the year. You know, you're with family. Some families are going from house to house to house, and it's just taking that time to stop and realize that there's someone struggling and showing them love.
Yeah, it's good. I wanted to talk about what Meal does on Christmas Day. as all of her grandkids got older, it became harder because there's so many
you
of us.
Want to explain who Mule is?
Oh, well, yeah. I just assume everybody knows Mule. But Mule's my grandmother on my dad's side, and there's just so many of us. And so she started, as we got older, giving us money instead of gifts. And she always created, instead of just, giving us the cash, she created a game for it, and it was really fun. So I thought I wanted to share that as an idea for anybody who may do that. It made it a lot more exciting. But I remember a lot of spiritual games that she did. She did where she did.
I think it was like a
Bible trivia or something like that. Yeah. And I thought that was really special. So just a little extra something for you guys that may not do gifts but do
and
cash.
Again, I mean, moms of your age, we did not have Pinterest and Instagram. We still came up with ways, but you guys have a whole plethora of ideas of things. So again, give yourself grace and don't try to do every little thing that you find, because you will burn out during the month of December. And I think one of my mistakes was trying to create a beautiful fairy tale Christmas.
Right.
And that doesn't go along with the way Jesus came into the world.
That's so true.
It was not a fairy tale night for those two parents. So I think keeping yourself in check is always a good idea.
It's great. Well, thank you, Mom, for coming and sharing all your wisdom.
I hope it was helpful.
I think it really was. I mean, I really think that there are so many activities that you can do nowadays. And I mean, I listed them on my blog. There's a million things in Nashville going on, but very few focus on what's really important. And so I think this was a great way to share ways to show your kids what matters the most and keep Jesus the center of your family. So thank you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We hope you have a great Christmas, and thanks for watching.